Mike, turn your games down.
Popular TV episode of Games My Mom Found. I'm Mike Albertin, and who's in a swamp with me tonight?
Hey everybody, it's Kenneth Sanity once again trying to grab my way from under the dark, twisted undergrowth.
And this is Joe Larrey, and the green talks to me. It shows me things, dark things.
Hey, this is Robert. This is here to talk about Elemental Bigfoot.
That's a good way to put it. So we're here to talk about a show that only happened because Ken asked me to do it after a while ago.
I don't know if asked you to is the right way. I'm pretty sure I begged for you to do this.
Hey, I bought the DVD like over 6 months ago. Does that count? I've been sitting on it like, oh, you got to do this one day.
Well, you know, you bought it. That's good.
So we're here to talk about Swamp Thing, the 2019 TV series that was made for, God, what was that streaming? DC Universe. That lasted, what, a year?
2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a
Never
show
saw the
that
background.
only went one season because of lots of stupidity.
Yeah.
Barely made one episode before it was canceled.
Did they cancel it before it even aired?
Oh no, it was after the first episode aired. They were like, nope, canceled.
I hate Warner Brothers sometimes. I really do.
And
Oh, yeah.
this is a case where they should especially be punched in or around the taint.
But they needed that money for Titans. You know, that show that everyone loved?
Oh yes, Titans. Yes, of course.
I watched
Love
the
that.
first episode of that, and then I didn't even make it to the first episode. I'm like, no, I'm good. So,
I watched some Titans. Like I think I made it to season 3 before I just kind of stopped. But it was a show, and this is more than a show. So
No,
at least in my opinion.
this was
more of a horror
different.
show.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a lot of horror shows,
Nope, you do
Nope.
not.
especially not Marvel or DC.
Well, that one thing that Marvel did, on Disney Plus at midnight or
Werewolf.
something.
Werewolf by Midnight.
Oh, that little TV movie thing.
Yeah,
That was good.
which had Marvel's pretty much Swamp Thing, Man Thing in it at the end, which was nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It did.
that had more humor in it, I think. 'Cause I remember them calling him Ted and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that was his name.
I haven't watched it since it came out, so it's been a few years. But I don't think it had like the same like this. Really, like this show starts off with a guy getting murdered and turned into a tree, and like
Yeah.
just massacred. I'm like, oh, so this is what kind of show I'm in for.
Yeah, this is definitely hard R horror. And not just in the first episode, but throughout the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's such a great thing. I mean, look at the people you got behind it. One of the showrunners was Gary Dauberman. Gary Dauberman wrote and directed that Salem's Lot movie that's on Max right now that should have been in the theater years ago and is actually quite good. He also, I think, wrote the new It movies. He wrote some of the Conjuring movies. Like, he's got some horror bona fides. And it's produced by James Wan's Atomic Monster Studios. So already you got 2 horror like mainstays, respected names in horror attached to this thing. And ultimately Swamp Thing is a body horror story.
I don't like. I know nothing about Swamp Thing, even though someone has been pushing me to read the books. But, hey, I'm gonna order them soon. I'm just waiting on a gift card to come from work, and I'm gonna buy them because I'm actually gonna buy the digital or not digital, the physical of Swamp Thing because I want the physical on my shelf. So I'm just. I mean, I could buy it, but I'm just waiting because I'm like, this is my present for winning my contest. I'll buy the Swamp Thing books.
So we know your non-existence of history with Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Who else has history with Swamp Thing here?
I do.
So what's your history?
So my history is just going back when I was a little kid and my dad would read me bedtime stories, and for some reason he read me Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run one time when I was
Oh
about
my God.
5 or 6. Yeah, I did not really understand it at the time. I just remember Swamp Thing going into space. Didn't really understand it at that time, but in high school, for my birthday, I got the Alan Moore run and absolutely fell in love with it. Also read the Rick Veitch run afterwards, and then some of the later ones. And then the New 52 Scott Snyder run, I also picked that up as well. But definitely the Alan Moore run is one that I read once a year because it's probably my favorite run in comics. So I'm definitely a big Swamp Thing fan, seen the movies, seen the animated cartoon that most people don't realize existed, and even the old 90s TV show that was on USA.
And Rob, what is your history with Swamp Thing?
My history is back in when I was a little kid, my dad rented the movies. So I always knew about the movies, loved those, and the cartoon came out later on. And I've always been a fan of Swamp Thing. And when this show was announced and I saw the DVD at Walmart, I had to grab it.
All right, Ken.
My history for Swamp Thing, not as extensive as you might think. My first exposure to Swamp Thing was the cartoon. Back in the day, I had a bunch of the action figures. Sadly, I don't anymore. But then I saw the Return to Swamp Thing, the one starring Heather Locklear. And I don't know, something about that movie. I was just like, yeah, this is for me. This is absolutely for me. So I started reading the original run with Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson. And Bernie Wrightson did some of the art for my most favorite comic book of all time, the 1982 adaptation of the movie Creepshow. So that was pretty much my in for Swamp Thing. Is once I found out he did the original art, I was like, oh, we're going to read this and we're going to read it well. And then later in life discovered the original Wes Craven movie and then read the, oh my God, Alan Moore run, which was transformative in my poor life. And then when this show got announced, I was stupid hyped for it. And I wasn't going to pay for DC Universe, so I was just hoping and praying that it did well. And then it didn't. But then it came out, and I bought it, and I loved it. And I am forever mourning what could have been.
Yeah, okay. I am now sad, too, where I went to not giving a shit. And now I'm like, oh, man. It's all your fault. Yeah. So what unfortunate, if this show isn't streaming on HBO Max for some stupid Zaslav reason.
It's not?
No, it's not on HBO Max. Why would HBO Max have things they own? They might have to pay a creator a royalty if somebody streams it. They can't afford that.
I think it was on Tubi until I think it came off yesterday.
Oh, well.
So yeah, it doesn't. The only way to watch this is either sale or to buy the DVD, which thankfully you can for it. Not that expensive. I feel like it's less than $20 for the season. So yeah, and for Zaslav, I mean, Warner Brothers really has no money. He only made $49.7 million in 2023. So poor guy.
Oh,
so,
I know.
He's broke.
Just living in poverty there.
So,
look, guys, he puts on his gold-plated pants the same way we do, one leg at a time.
So I was upset that it's not on. Also, TMT vs. Batman is not on HBO Max either. It was. They own it. Not anymore. But that's neither here nor there. But no, Max is just stupid. And I feel like that's hurting the show even more because, like, if this was on a streaming service that people just have, more people would run across this show randomly. Like, I looked on YouTube before we did this episode. There's very little stuff about this show other than 5 years ago people saying, oh, it canceled or this or that. Like, there's very little content.
And, that's just a damn shame. Because this could have been the mature content that DC says they want to put out with their movies and shows. Not just some edgelord Robin saying, fuck Batman, me. Like, this is deep. This, deals with philosophical issues of life. What is life? What is, death? Is there an in-between here? And deals with, obviously the environment. Because, God help us, you can't have a show called Swamp Thing without the environment being a thing. You can't.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me, this show would have been woke in 2025?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
I had to throw in that dumb joke. But no, I mean, they definitely do a good job of bringing up the environment. And I also feel this show is a great introduction to Swamp Thing. For a guy that only knows Swamp Thing from that stupid-ass cartoon that I have no memory of, but I know I had toys of. And I had a VHS of a couple episodes of it that I watched as a kid. Like, this is it really does a good job of showing you who he is.
Yeah, it was one of those weird things like in the late 90s or mid to late 90s where things got cartoons that shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Toxic Crusaders.
Because back when I was young, That was another movie my dad rented when I was probably like 7, The Toxic Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
And like, fuck, that's when it opened my mind to all the gore and horror and shit. Like,
I
Yeah.
like, although that cartoon's awful, but I like the toys a lot.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
the cartoon's fine, but like it shouldn't have had one. RoboCop should not have had a cartoon.
That's
No.
right. The RoboCop.
one thing about the Swamp Thing cartoon, you can never get that theme song out of your head.
You ain't wrong.
I don't think Swamp Thing should have had a kid's cartoon either. This is not a child character.
Oh, just wait till you read the comics, Mike.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. They will. Yeah.
I know a little, but not much.
It's even worse than you think.
Okay. So, like, I knew as soon as the guy said his name is Alec, I'm like, well, I know what's going to happen to him, but that was about my Swamp Thing knowledge. Was that
Yeah.
I knew he was becoming the Swamp Thing.
Kinda. Like, I do like that this show does some things a little bit differently than the already established story. And, you know, we've talked about it on the podcast before. You know, some people are like, no, if it's going to be this thing, it has to be a direct adaptation of it. I like when people make something and do some new things with it, because I always have those other things that I've already loved to go back to if I don't like this new thing.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so this whole, like, spoilers anyway, but it doesn't matter. Like, the whole idea of Alec Constance being inside a plant man is not what it does in the comics.
It depends.
Okay,
Yeah, it
depends on the
depends on
run,
your
probably.
interpretation of it. Yeah.
Okay, because like you find out way late in the show, man. So I know we're gonna jump around, but that part when they start cutting him open and they're taking out his plant heart and his plant lungs, and I'm like, okay, this show is going places I did not expect.
Yeah.
That's a fucked up scene, by the way.
That is probably one of the most famous issues of Alan Moore's run.
That's probably the most famous issue because that was what kickstarted it all.
Oh, that's from the comic?
Yeah,
Yep,
the-
that's the title of the issue is the same as the episode, the anatomy lesson.
Oh,
yeah,
now I'm more interested to read the comic. But all right.
yeah. Like they did some wild ass things in this show.
I
And-
really like that. I think the guy that plays Swamp Thing is also really good. Like
You
the-
just said that because you got his autograph.
I do have his
Oh,
autograph. I got to meet him. Super nice guy, by the way.
Oh,
But-
it seems like a doll.
He was. He was really nice. We had a really funny interaction. It was good. But yeah, no, he also played Jason in the Friday 13th movie. But no, I also was going to say that the costume and everything just is so well done. It doesn't look cheap at all. Like, it looks like quality.
It wasn't cheap at all. It was very expensive. Like, they spent thousands of dollars on that costume. But you get the depth of that in that costume. Like, it looks... I read an interview that were like, yeah, we wanted it to look like a root-bound tree. And it does. It's not just like a flat suit. You have, you know, the roots and leaves and everything all in layers. So it gives it a kind of depth that you normally wouldn't have. And you definitely don't have in the movies. Because those movies, I love them, but they're kind of crappy.
Yeah, they're B movies.
They tried with that rubber suit.
And like Derek Mears said, this suit was like a Cadillac. It was so nice. Like they could get him in and out of that full makeup, the full suit, in like 4 hours.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
So,
Like-
I can't... That's a long
They-
time, but that's not long for makeup.
Not compared to a full body makeup. Like it's very impressive. It said 4 hours to put it on, half an hour to get it off,
Okay.
which is amazing.
Now I regret that I didn't watch this show before I met him, because I would have had actually things I could have talked about.
Just go meet him again.
Yes.
Just be like, my dude, you autograph something for me as Jason. I hadn't seen Swamp Thing. I'm sorry. Because like they actually let him act in this, and he's good.
Yeah. I like both the actors for Alec.
Yeah.
I like
Oh,
this
yeah.
later where they have the interactions with each other.
That was so fun.
Those are good.
Yeah, like, I don't know who this Andy Bean guy is, but like I trusted him right away. I was like, yeah, this is my hero. I like him. And he's from Chicago.
I've never seen him in anything else, but I liked him in this.
Apparently he was on Power. Oh, he was Stan Uris in Chapter 2. He was there for
Yeah.
like 5 minutes.
I was in the reboot of Quantum Leap too.
I'll watch that.
But more importantly, he was in 2021's amazingly fantastic film *Malignant*, directed by James Wan. So I'm sure his work on Swamp Thing probably helped him out.
Is
in
that
this
the
one.
horror movie with like...
Well, way to spoil it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
But like No, that movie's a masterpiece.
That movie's a fucked up movie. I saw
I
part
love
of
it
that
so
and I went,
much.
what the fuck are you watching, Tiff? And then went back downstairs to record.
It is so campy. I love it so
Okay.
much. And this could have been campy easily because everything else Swamp Thing media related that isn't the comics has been a little bit campy. This is not at all. Like there are some jokes here and there, but for the most part, this is a dark show.
So you're saying they took the source material seriously and treated it with respect?
Yeah, it's wild when people do that. That's why it got canceled.
Exactly.
That's it.
It was doing too good.
Yeah.
Well, so many dumb reasons. But like you said, speaking of people that you can trust when you see the actor, I don't remember this guy's name, but you're going to know him immediately when I bring up the character. The guy that plays Avery.
Oh, Will
the
Patton.
rich guy.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Will Patton. Solid.
That actor is just solid to begin with, and like in everything I see him in.
Oh yeah, he plays a badass real good.
Mhm. He was great in Armageddon. He was great in all three of the new Halloween movies.
Oh, he's in those movies?
Yeah.
Now I'm more interested in those.
Thank Christ.
He's that guy.
In those because you told me skip all the Halloweens, just go to the new one. So I've been waiting at some point. He's in a movie I really like that I do want to put on the show at some point. The Mothman Prophecies.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you.
Yes. Good one.
Oh,
Fucking love that movie.
Okay, that movie. Yeah, I got history with that movie, so I'd be happy to.
I got history with that movie. I think everybody who saw that movie has fucking history with that movie.
But that's one of the movies I know him from. He was in so many random shit. He's in The Postman. I've seen him in.
Yep.
This guy is just in just crazy shit. Like I'm looking at his filmography, and he's just all sorts of movies. I also never seen Armageddon, by the way.
Oh, you should. It's fun.
I've seen parts of it, but I've just never seen the whole movie.
You know, that's the thing about him. Will Patton is fun. He's always fun. If he's a bad guy, he's fun. If he's a good guy, he's fun. Like you can just tell he enjoys his job and he does it well. And he really brings that to this one. Like he's the bad guy.
100% one of the bad guys.
Yeah, like one of. But like he's having a blast.
So every scene he's in this show, he's just chewing the scenery. The way he talks, the way he interacts with all the characters, and just manipulates everybody. It's fucking wonderful.
Oh yeah, that turtle soup scene, like that was crazy.
Yeah.
Is it bad that every time I hear turtle soup, I always think of Shredder and
Tonight I died on turtle soup.
Every time I've heard turtle soup, that's what my brain goes to.
That's fair.
Well, every time he said turtle soup, like said turtle, I kept thinking of that zombie kid there, that video in the past.
I like
turtles. I like turtles.
Oh, the kid of like the movie, like he was in the Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah.
I love that dude. He's awesome.
Didn't he just redo it again for like the 20th anniversary or something?
Yep.
Too long ago. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, he did.
Internet's a weird place. There's something about him throughout this entire show, like and the way he avoids death because he gets shot in the leg and jumps off a boat and still survives. That I didn't expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's such a good villain.
He really is. And also a good villain, his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That actress is good in this.
So Virginia Madsen once again having just the worst fucking luck with mirrors, because she was also in a little movie, Mirrors, called Candyman, way back in the day. But she's another one, just elevates whatever she's in and just makes it better.
She was great in this.
Mm-hmm. And, basically everybody's just trying to screw everybody over, except for poor Abby Arcane.
And Liz.
And Liz.
So there's no Matthew in this, right?
Oh, Matt Cable?
Yeah, he's in there. Yeah, Matt. Yeah.
The Raven.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, that Matthew. Because isn't he in Swamp Thing at some point?
Yes, but I don't remember what run it was.
Okay, I remember you guys mentioned it a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away about that character being in Swamp Thing. But it's been a long time, so I was just curious. Okay. So I wasn't sure if maybe he was in here and I just didn't catch it as a character. Wouldn't have been that surprising for me. Oh, apparently Matt Cable, that police officer, is from the comics also?
Yep.
He is, yeah.
Oh.
And that is the same Raven. That is the same Matthew that is Dream's Raven in Sandman.
Oh, it's that guy?
Yeah.
That's cool. All right.
There's a lot
I love Sandman.
A lot of stuff that's in Sandman. A lot of it was laid in Swamp Thing, especially like the dreams, the twins in the dream world, Cain and Abel. That's from the Swamp Thing comic. Yeah.
Oh, he did steal a lot then, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, and you'll find this one funny, Ken. So we were watching this, and then when you get introduced to Jason Woodrue, and I looked at Tiff, I'm like, oh, that guy was an Abigail. And she's like, no, he wasn't. Because she didn't recognize him right away. Because the way he talks in this movie.
Yeah, and he has normal hair in this movie.
Yes.
Or in the show, rather.
She did. I'm like, it's the same guy. I'm like, I know that actor. And she looked it up, she's like, you are right. But she couldn't tell.
Yeah, no, Kevin Durand is a prince among men. Basically just another one. Elevates every damn thing he's in.
Hey, even bad Resident Evil movies.
Sure.
Yeah, and hell, he was the bad guy in the last Planet of the Apes movie. He was great in that.
Ooh, I'm going to have to watch that.
Yeah, he's Proximus Caesar. He was great.
All right, bet.
His whole arc in this is so good. Where like, as soon as I heard the name Jason Woodrue, the only reason I know who that character is, unfortunately, is from a little movie that no one should ever watch in their right mind called Batman and Harley Quinn. He was in that bullshit.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
Boo.
What is the name of the character he become?
The Floronic Man.
Floronic Man.
Okay. Yeah, that every scene he's in where he goes from trying to understand it to then him eventually eating part of Swamp Thing's heart. That was good, by the way.
Yeah.
Isn't the last thing you see of him getting carted away for season 2?
And it kills me because we could have gotten a proper in season 2. Like we would have. That would have been the big bad. Because the Floronic Man goes toe to toe with Swamp Thing.
You know they were setting that up.
Yeah, and in the comics, he actually takes like the mantle of the Avatar of the Green from Swamp Thing. It's pretty interesting there.
Yeah.
I was sad to not have more, but like just also his motive makes sense. He's trying to save his wife because his wife is suffering Alzheimer's, and they did do a good job of Alzheimer's representation in this. Like the whole thing where like they're sitting at a table and they have dinner, and she's like, "Who is that other couple there, honey?" And there was no other couple really. But hallucinations are part of Alzheimer's. Like everything she was going through, that was Alzheimer's. Like she did a good job acting of what people go through with that.
It did just seem to kind of get so much worse out of nowhere toward the middle of the show.
To be fair, that is accurate to Alzheimer's.
Okay.
It can literally go from one day you're fine to the next day you are paranoid and think people are trying to murder you. Like I have seen enough examples, let's just say that is an accurate thing that happens to people. Like it changes on a dime. I mean, it could be like somebody falls, or it can just be all of a sudden it just hits. It's one of those diseases because it eats at your brain, I guess, at a certain point. And it literally does eat at your brain. When they've done brain scans of people and they have less brain after Alzheimer's.
Yeesh.
So there's your fun fact you didn't ask for. But
it's not terribly fun, Mike. Work on your fun facts. Make them fun.
I liked it that they did it, and the way that like he leaves her alone, and like you don't do that. I can't say why I think that way exactly, but you don't do that. And like with the medication where she takes it all, that's also very realistic to happen to people in these situations. Like,
so not only did they respect the source material, but they respected the writing on the show and the situations that their characters were put in.
It was so sad. Like it hit me, everything with his wife and how bad she gets, and like it's a good reason why he's doing this. He's trying to save his wife, and
I agree, it's a good reason, but then also we can see he takes it to the absolute extreme though, where it's suddenly he kind of starts losing like focus on why he was doing it in the first place, which is just testament to how good the writing is in this show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything surprised me with Jason Woodrue in general. Just him working in the lab, him being the one that really figures out things, and like I really thought they did a good portrayal of that character for what little I know of him.
Let's see, who else haven't we talked about yet? I mean, we kind of talked about Matt, but Matt's kind of just
he's cooler as a bird.
Seems to have forgotten about the main character Abby on this show.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about Abby yet. Oh God, why haven't we talked about Abby? Jesus. Okay, so I have a new Hollywood crush after watching this show. Crystal Reed,
not blame you.
holler. Find me, Kenneth Sanity on most social media. Give me a holler. Just great actor. Great. Absolutely. Yes. Just really works well with this role. Very nice to look at.
That too.
And like just the whole weight of the show is pretty much on her because Swamp Thing's not always around. And she's left to deal with all the emotional heavy lifting after Alex's death. She makes you believe that she feels something for this guy that she knew for 3 days.
I was a little question on that, but
Nah. I know how it is. Like it do be like that sometimes. You meet somebody and they're just in
fair.
your head.
I've done it, so I don't know why I'm questioning it.
Yeah. And like she's smart. Like other incarnations of Abby Arcane, Heather Locklear, have just been dumb.
Yeah, they're just the typical damsel in distress.
But she's holds her own. I like her. I like her a lot.
She was really good in this. I mean, and she's not and like you said, she's not a damsel in distress at all, which I think also improves everything with it.
Yeah, like it gives her agency.
I mean, even when they're trying to like fire her at the for the CDC, which you find out a little bit more that the CDC is. I mean, who would have guessed this, that a government-run agency is also run by corrupt people? Like, man, that is such a far-fetched idea.
Oddly topical as we record this.
Yeah, but depending on if we record this in 2026, there might not be a CDC thing anymore. So, but I really liked her. I liked everything about that actress in this show. And like the way they do it, that she has history with this town. She's from this town, so she knows people a little bit. And like the whole idea where like they don't tell you for a while, because early in the first episode they showed that Avery, the one of the villains that we talked about, that had something to do with was friends with his daughter, somehow connected to his daughter, and that the daughter died and it was her fault. And we never really know what happened. And I'm like, well, she wasn't arrested and she's in the town. So my guess is like, she didn't murder her, but I figured it was some kind of accident where, where she was blamed for it. And when you finally see what happened, which you also don't really understand, because when Swamp Thing is able to see the trees or see the past, and he tells her, like, you guys jumped in the water, but then something grabbed the other sister or the other girl. I am upset that is not answered.
It probably would have been in season 2.
Probably related to the rot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wanted like that. I'm upset that I watched this show too, because now I don't get a season 2, and my brain didn't care before.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's not fan fiction out there made at season 2 somewhere. And I don't read fan fiction, but I'd read that fan fiction.
I don't read fan fiction either.
I don't either, but I want so much more of the show. I'm willing to put myself out there and read fan fiction for it.
Oh, and the actress that played Abby also played Sophia Falcone in season 4 of Gotham, by the way.
Yeah, another show I never bothered with.
And she's in Teen Wolf as well.
I have no idea what that is. That came out 2023.
I was on MTV. I know people that watch Teen Wolf. I'll ask if she was any good in that. I'm sure she was.
Oh, she was in the show, and she was also in the movie. I'm assuming, the movie is probably a movie to the show.
Probably.
Okay.
I did like Jennifer Beals as the sheriff.
She was good.
Like, it's always good to see Jennifer Beals. She was a big hit in the 80s with a little movie called Flashdance. It was kind of a big deal. She did some smaller stuff. She was also in 2006's The Grudge 2.
Weird that you bring that up, huh?
Well, it is my very favorite film series of all time. So, but she does good work, and they really let her have some meat in this role to play with, which is good. Like, you wanted it to be a woman you could believe was tough enough to stand up to Avery, and she did well.
I did not realize she was in her 50s, because I'm like, she looks too young to be with Avery. And she was in her late 50s when she filmed this.
Yeah.
Damn.
Some genes are good.
Well, because I was like, you seem too young to be with this old man, but he is rich, so, I mean, there is that. So I was able to buy the part just fine.
And then there's Ian Ziering.
Yeah.
Blue Devil.
I have a good one for this. So when my wife first saw that, and she's like, let me guess, his name is Blue Devil. I'm like, it is. She's like, what? I'm kidding. I'm like, no, it is.
I'm surprised she didn't go nuts and be like, that's the Sharknado guy.
She did watch that movie.
But it is. I didn't realize that. God, you're right.
And he also, like, from my younger years, I remember him from a show called Beverly Hills 90210. Yeah. Apparently, he was also the voice of Vinny in Biker Mice from Mars. So that's fresh.
That's cool.
What?
Yeah. Like, he's done some wild voice acting stuff. Like, he was in the Mighty Ducks animated series.
Oh my God. He was in Real Monsters and Mighty Duck. Yeah. Whoa.
Sure.
He was Dr. Nick Totopoulos in the Godzilla animated series? Oh man,
That's
wow.
a throwback. Like it's wild. This dude's been in so much stuff, and most people my age that were, of a certain age during 90210, that's what we remember him from. Nowadays, it's probably more Sharknado than anything. If there were any justice in this world, this would have been yet another comeback for him.
Yeah, because I assume they had more stuff going to go on with the Blue Devil character, because they do a lot of setup in this.
Oh yeah.
They have so much stuff in Blue Devil.
I never heard of the character before.
He's a great character. He's got some crazy stuff going on with him.
I kind of figured that. Also, who was that stranger? Was that the same guy that Swamp Thing sees in the swamp too?
Yes, Phantom Stranger.
The Phantom Stranger.
Oh God, that's the. Oh, DC.
Yeah, that guy was great.
I love that he was there.
I know, I loved it too. It was an interesting take on him, but I really liked
I was
it.
like, hell yeah, Phantom Stranger.
No, this isn't the guy in the cloak, right? That's a Spectre that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Spectre's
Okay.
the guy in the green cloak.
This is another character I never heard of before.
Oh, Phantom Stranger is in a lot of DC stuff.
Yeah, he's been around since the 50s.
Okay,
He just kind of shows up in other people's comics. That's kind of his thing.
that's fine. I mean, sometimes that's just what you have to do with characters. They ain't gonna sell their own books, and so you might as well put them in other stuff.
And
So.
he's kind of like, he's got that kind of Constantine vibe going for him. Like he shows up where he's needed. He's mysterious. He's not as abusive all the time.
He was good in this. Like when Swamp Thing is just talking to that random fisherman, I'm like, yeah, that guy's not real. Like that's not a human. That's not a human being just sitting there talking to him in the swamp.
Yeah. He's done a lot of good work too. The guy that played the Macon Blair. He was in a great movie called Green Room. Very nice. He's in the new Toxic Avenger movie that's going to be coming out. He was one of the hundreds of people involved in Oppenheimer. Like he's done some good stuff. Like the pedigree of actors on this show is ridiculous.
Hey, they got Jake Busey for one episode just to get killed.
One episode.
The end. He was one of the soldiers.
And I'm proud of myself. As soon as I saw him and I heard his voice, even though he's like playing a bit of a character, I'm like, that's Jake Busey.
Yep. And if it wasn't the voice, it would have been the teeth.
It probably wasn't. He's too, but he has sunglasses on, so I couldn't see his face until he gets murdered. And I got him for one episode. They're like, yeah, come on. We'll give you a job for a day.
To be able to throw star power like that away on a one-off character, man, love it. I love it. They hired the best people for the job.
Oh, and I forgot one of the doctors that you see early in the hospital was Spock from Star Trek Voyager, Tuvok. Tim Russ is his name.
Yeah.
Tuvok.
Oh.
I caught it immediately, even though Voyager is the worst of the Star Trek, if you ask me, but that I've ever seen. But
I didn't watch it, so I was completely unprepared for that. But that's pretty cool.
Deep Space
I got
Nine.
one
Watch.
of the figures right beside me.
Just keep it that way. I need to give Voyager another try someday, but I don't foresee that happening. So it just didn't do it for me. Oh, so many great actors in this show, and like this is a slow burn. Is also a good way to put it. Like this show, like it takes its time to get going before it really just explodes about midway into the season.
Yeah, but it also explodes in that first episode too. Specifically, the body they bring in.
Multiple bodies.
Yeah, that was very Resident Evil. I was like, this is better than any other Resident Evil movie.
When they go to the house, and like that poor girl's father. He's a tree now. I thought a Deadly Premonition too, kind of.
Oh yeah,
that's a fucked up game. Good game. But yeah, no, they show you the horror elements in this so quickly, and it doesn't really let up. There's a random. Who was that bee man that showed up for like one episode? You know what I'm talking about? There's a guy that spit bees out for a second.
Oh yeah, that dude. He was just a creature that was made by the rot.
yeah.
Okay, they never really explained anything about the rot in this.
They would have.
That was going to be season 2. Was going to go all into that and introduce Abby's uncle Antoine, who's like the avatar for the rot. It was going to go all into that.
Oh, I would have been okay. So the rot is something from the comics, then.
Yeah, in the Swamp Thing comics, there's different elements. Like the green is like for plant life, the rot's for death, and each one of these elements has an avatar. So like Swamp Thing's the avatar for the green, and Abby's uncle Antoine is the avatar for the rot. And they're always in constant conflict with each other.
That part when Abby gets infected with the rot, that was damn good.
Yeah, like a good way to think about it is if Swamp Thing is Batman, then Anton Arcane is his Joker.
Ah,
Yeah, that's exactly the
Okay.
perfect way to describe it.
Like they are just battling on and off for the entire time of their existence. They're destined to do this forever.
it was
Damn
nice to have
shame.
another show set in Louisiana. Like just the way that the show is set, like it's supposed to be like a small town by a swamp.
Hmm
Hmm.
Small
Yes.
made up town.
Oh yeah, but still,
The city
Our
of
small
Murray
town.
does not exist.
I'm sure there's small towns like that though in Louisiana.
Oh, 100%, I'm sure.
I can hopefully tell you
Oh, yeah.
either next year or the year after, because someday I'm going down to New Orleans and I'll probably drive around Louisiana. That's what I do. I
I
might.
just always wonder how those areas smell, being
Me
that close to
too.
the swamp.
Oh, probably warm. They
Yeah.
probably smell warm.
I've been near swamps, but I'm in Minnesota, so when I've been near a swamp, and probably nothing like what Louisiana is. I mean, I've been to
No.
Georgia, but it's been years, so that had swampy. They don't smell great.
No.
But I was thinking about the show, like, man, how many bodies are buried in those swamps? Like, yeah,
Tons.
I mean, that's what you do. Somebody you don't want, just put them in the swamp.
With all the gators.
I mean, how many bodies does Avery put in the swamp?
Oh
Yeah.
my god, he is just man.
And this is just like a couple weeks. So, like, imagine what it's been like over years.
Did he get killed in the end of the show?
Avery, no, he starts like changing into something because he spits out like a
Oh,
plant
okay.
sprout.
Yeah. I had taken that to just mean he caught the green fever.
All the
Yeah.
illness that they have in the beginning of the show,
Yeah.
it just goes away.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I took it as. But, we'll never fucking know.
No.
Every episode but one really did feel like a continuation of one story. The only episode that felt kind of like we were watching a just regular TV show from back in the day, or Monster of the Week type thing, is the one where that body falls down and it has like that evil spirit in it that then possesses people throughout the town.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was good. Was that from the comics at all?
I think there's something similar to it. I don't think it's exactly like that, though.
I was
Trying
just
to remember.
curious.
Yeah.
I also like the stuff with the daughter that died, where like she comes back as a ghost. Those scenes made me jump a couple times when she just shows up, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. And, like,
I love it when she possesses the little girl. She's just talking shit to Abby the whole time.
that actress did it good though. She played that part really good.
it felt very. Oh my god! How did I just forget the damn name of the show?
Ellie Graham is the actress that played Susie Coyle. Is she from the comic?
No.
Didn't come back to you, Ken?
What the hell was that show?
I don't know.
Everybody loves it.
And everybody knows its name.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yellow
no.
Jackets.
Oh.
It felt very Yellow Jackets, even though Yellow Jackets came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, but
Like
I have another
having
season
the-
coming still.
Yeah, season 3 is coming out this year. Very excited for that. But like the ghost of the dead girl haunting one of the main characters, I was like, oh, okay, that's what this feels like. And it's another one of those things that, damn it, why can't we just have nice things?
Yeah, it upsets me too that there isn't, because I really wanted more. Like Tiff asked me, because she watched some of the show with me, but she really wasn't interested. She wanted to watch a surgeon show about Meredith Grey instead. So she watched some of this off and on, and then I just finished it by myself. But she asked me, like, did it end on a cliffhanger? I'm like, no, but there's still unresolved stuff that will be forever unresolved.
No, but yes.
I mean, it's an ending. I mean, him saying that, we're going to do more with the swamp or something, but it wasn't like they weren't in turmoil. Like, it was all right. There were just things that were left unanswered. Like, who the hell pulled, the other girl underwater that time and dragged her to her death? Like, what was that?
I'm going to say the rot.
Yeah. Was it in the first episode? Is it the rot? Who was killing all these random people with the plants? That confused me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the plants. They're
okay.
striking back.
I was wondering
Yeah.
if there was because I'm like, Swamp Thing isn't around yet. So I was wondering, and I'm like, we have Jason Woodger as a human, so it's definitely not Floronic Man. I'm like, I don't know anything else about Swamp Thing, so.
And that's the green just being pissed off.
Okay.
And that happens.
I mean, they were experimenting in the swamp.
Well, when your magic growing formula works too well, so badly you make a man who wants to kill you. Kinda.
When he figures out his powers and he just starts murdering the people that are hunting him.
Oh
was
yeah.
So damn
That's
good.
it.
The tree bark bullets that he did, like
Oh,
that was cool. Where he just punched a tree and all the splinters just
That
freaking
was
shot that guy up.
so
Oh, yeah.
dope.
Right.
I really
When he
appreciate
had that one dude drawn and quartered in midair. Yo.
when they're hunting
Yeah, it was
them, when they're hunting the Swamp Thing and he's hunting them, it really made me think of Predator. Like when you see the guy just randomly in the trees dead.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's Predator.
Oh man.
I haven't seen the movie in years, but that's what it made me think of.
I mean, it's fair being stalked in the wilderness. It's a
And
valid
another
point.
character we haven't talked about yet is Xanadu,
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Madam
blind
Xanadu.
lady.
it was good.
Yeah.
Like she was good, but not really in it enough, which
She's
is
only here and
unfortunate.
there.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't realize
she's
she's from the comics.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
she's big time in the comics, and not just Swamp Thing.
No, she's all over.
Yep.
And she was good in this. I mean, you are right. There's not enough of her, but she did fine being in here.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was at least that they brought in more characters and a lot of characters from the comics. So like they make it work.
Oh, they were teasing a Justice League.
Oh,
Dark
that
one
what they
never
were.
got.
God.
Is that their plan?
Yeah. God, how good would that have been with Matt Ryan's Constantine? Oh.
That would have been amazing. That would have just cherry on the top
My
right
God.
there. That is a shame we never got him in a Swamp Thing episode.
damn
That would
it.
have been
He was
Yeah.
so good as Constantine, and I would have killed to have a Justice League Dark like that.
I forgot they had all these big plans to what they were going to do with the DC Universe streaming service, and then just nothing happened.
Because nobody wanted it because they didn't give people enough reason to want it.
Well, there's too many of them at the time.
There's still too many of them.
Yes. I mean, there's
Yeah.
more problems
Yeah.
now. Oh, yeah, because Stargirl, Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol, and Titans were all part of that. And then, Young Justice, Harley Quinn, and that was it.
Yeah, some of them are still on
Yeah.
HBO, but a lot of them aren't.
Doom Patrol got to finish. Titans got to finish. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, Swamp had
I
a myriad
love
of
the-
issues.
I love.
I know there's the tax thing, which
Yeah.
is bullshit, where they didn't get a tax credit that they were supposed to get a $20 million tax credit, but apparently North Carolina can only give out a $12 million tax credit. So right there, apparently somebody didn't, read the fine print, and they didn't get nothing because they fucked up with paperwork or something. That was part of it.
And there was also issues with like the set designs. Just storing them was a pain because they had to build all those sets.
It's just so sad that this show wasn't like. Also, you can't just cancel a show after the first episode airs, but this is WB. They're like, who gives? We already, we don't give a shit. So.
This never got a chance to really find its audience.
No, it didn't. No, and if I remember, they did not advertise the show
Nope.
at all. They just kind of sent it out.
They didn't care. They already were done with it because it didn't the tax bullshit, and they were just done.
I hate it.
I mean, WB made a lot of mistakes in general.
And they keep doing it.
Oh, I mean, I know there's the worry that WB is going to sell off the DC part of them. I know that's a worry for people.
That might not be a terrible
at all.
thing.
I mean, if they sell off DC,
as
long as they don't try to pick apart DC and sell characters.
Yeah, that worked out so well for Marvel that they're still paying for it to this day. So, I feel like people learned that lesson enough.
You think?
I hope.
I wouldn't guarantee that.
Oh, they are making a new Swamp Day movie.
They are?
So, yeah, that's going to be one of James Gunn's movies. Yeah, it's supposed to come out in 2026, I think.
Huh.
I'm looking this up since you brought it up. I didn't.
Yeah.
I think the guy
I
who
have no
directed
clue about
the Logan movie. is the
Right.
one he's
We're
doing.
supposed to get a Swamp Thing.
Wait,
Wow.
did you say the guy who directed Logan is going to do it?
Yeah, doing it. Yeah, James
Mangold?
Mangold,
Oh,
I think is
shit.
the name.
That could be really fucking good.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get Superman this year. Then next year is Supergirl, which I want to read that book. Clayface, and then we're supposed to get the Authority, Brave and the
Ooh.
Bold, and Swamp Thing.
Playface.
I am hyped for Clayface.
Oh yeah.
I'm hyped for the Authority.
And Clayface is going to be directed by, I think Mike Flanagan.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I did
Oh,
all
boy.
the Netflix things. Yeah.
So I mean, hey, I hope it happens. I hope we do get another Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
I went from not caring about this character at all to now being like, I'm in, because this worked for me. Like, this show was very dark and violent, and which is not my type of thing, and really good. Like, and now I'm actually more interested to read Saga the Swamp Thing than I was before. That's why I'm ordering the books.
hmm Especially with his eyes too, like the glow of his eyes, he does so well.
Oh, yeah. We really got to shout out the effects on here because,
Oh, yeah,
like,
well done.
most of it, like, yeah, there was some CG and you could tell, but there was a lot of just straight up practical effects.
Yeah, they didn't out on this.
Yeah, it was clearly very expensive.
That's why it was canceled too. But like, you can't cancel a show before it even like you gotta give it time to air because you don't know. Like, I feel like you're shooting yourself in the foot because once you say it's canceled, a lot of people are like, well, what's the even point then? Like, just wait. Like, the public doesn't need to know that you already decided to cancel it.
Yeah.
Like, don't make it official.
Especially after the first episode, any audience this show would have found was lost.
Because they were just done.
Immediately.
DC but I think, like, DC's universe was destined to fail anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah. There was really no plan.
And then Max came shortly after that. And, like, you couldn't have, like, I think their plan was to have DC Universe and HBO Max. Like, you can't run, like, you fuckers aren't, it's not going to work that way. Like, people are not going to subscribe to 2 streaming services for the same company.
No.
Like,
plus, being one based off a comic company, that is just incredibly niche to begin with.
Do it. I remember when DC Universe came out, they were selling lifetime subscriptions. Like $180 or $200 for a lifetime subscription.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
If more people would have bought that, maybe we would have had it for more than 5 minutes.
I know a guy that bought it sort of like from a podcast, Comic Conspiracy. He's a big DC fan. He bought it. I remember that he bought it right as soon as it was advertised. So, and then the Wilf.
Damn shame.
Yeah, I should check out Doom Patrol someday, I feel like.
It's good. It's very weird, though. So just be prepared for that.
I don't know. I'm trying to get into more DC stuff since I started this podcast. I slowly have enjoyed more and more DC.
DC's got some good stuff, but, don't let all the good stuff that you covered so far, set the stage. They got some crap.
Oh, I know. Everyone's got, but I just enjoy making content, so it doesn't matter as much.
Fair enough.
I'm also sad that this show is kind of forgotten because it only had the one season and it was canceled. Like, people just forget that this exists.
Yeah.
And it really bummed me out. Like I said earlier, this isn't on streaming because, like, it should be. People would check it out. I mean, I was reluctant to buy it. That's why, like, it took me a little bit to put this on the show because I didn't really want to go buy the DVD or Blu-ray, whatever I bought. But, I mean, just because I'd rather just watch it on something I'm already paying for. Just that whole thing. And you can buy this on Amazon Prime now where you couldn't before, but now it is on Prime. You can buy it the whole season for like $25.
It is also available on Fandango at Home, which is where I bought it. It showed up there before the disc came out.
Okay. It wasn't on Amazon Prime, I feel like, when I looked. That's why I bought the disc. Oh, it's not anymore?
It's not on Amazon Prime, yeah.
It was a couple days ago, but then again, that was before February.
Sure. Oh,
so I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, rights chains and with stuff like this. I mean, this is another, conversation of why people, are really into physical media because they can take away your streaming services anytime, but then I just fail at that point. So
you can still buy it on Prime.
Okay,
digitally.
Good.
Yeah, I can buy. Yeah.
Yeah. At least you can buy. I mean, because a lot of people like to buy stuff digitally because it's just simpler.
I do both.
Yeah, I like my physical for a lot of things.
I buy digital now, like even for movies, movies that we're going to cover on the show, I'll buy them digitally a lot of times. So because I wait too long. So I buy them physical when I have to, like High Tension. Didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Still need to buy Tale of Two Sisters, by the way.
Yeah, you do.
I do want to. I do want to see that movie.
It's not going to get any cheaper.
Oh, God.
I'm going to buy a bootleg copy like you did, Ken, so.
Is that an expensive movie now?
It's not as bad as it was because Umbrella just came out with a new last year.
Oh,
I don't want to spend $25 on a DVD in general. That's
especially
too much
not as a horror guy. It's not gonna. So just buy the cheap bootleg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not a big physical collector with movies in general. I mean, I'm not even a big physical collector in general anymore. But like movies are kind of like, I just don't. I'll buy packs, but I'm used to cheap DVDs when I buy movies, like at Walmart.
Yeah,
that's how I buy my movies. Whenever it does happen, like, oh, $4 for this, and it comes with these other movies too. Okay, I'm interested.
All right, you know what? I gotta say something. Everybody out there listening, don't do what Mike does. Buy the movie in the best quality you can. You're gonna get so much more of it. I promise.
No, I know you're right. That's just how I am sometimes. But
right,
Blu-ray stuff.
That's you. What works for you doesn't work for everybody.
No, I'm a cheap bastard. So I will stand on that hill all the time. Anything else we should mention about the Swamp Thing show that we haven't talked about yet?
The one thing I wanted to throw out real quick is just a little thing that I loved and happy when Abby's boss at CDC shows up. The new boss is played by Adrienne Barbeau, the star of the original Swamp Thing movie.
Yeah.
And
that's the Creep Show, right?
Yes.
Sorry, I stole your thunder.
No, I was gonna bring that up. But like it was good to see her there. I was like, oh, they care. They cared enough to give us a good cameo. Thank you.
The only reason I know she was in that old movie, I was trying to watch what few videos I could find about Swamp Thing on YouTube tonight before we did this recording, and the only thing I found started talking about the show in this 15-minute video, and then went to the movie and just talked about the movie. And I saw her. I'm like, oh, that woman from Creepshow. So I did not realize that was her. That's cool. Oh, I also, who was the actor in charge of the secret organization, the black bald guy? I recognized him from other stuff.
Oh, Avery.
He was good in this though too. Like I do like that whole Black Ops organization that was funding them.
Michael Beach. Yeah.
What was it? The
Are they
Conclave?
from the comics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man,
they were really
they
really drew so much stuff, and it's upsetting.
I thought he looked familiar. He was in Saw 10.
Oh yeah, no,
The guy that played
Oh,
what's
really?
Shit, I just had his name. Nathan Ellery. The actor Michael Beach was in Saw 10.
All right.
Oh.
That was the guy that talked Jigsaw about the opportunity with the surgery.
I can't believe there's 10 of those movies.
Love those movies.
I know
Don't
you
talk
do.
shit on those.
That last one was really good.
Yeah, that's where I knew him
Just like
from.
Aquaman. What?
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, he's
That's
Black
how I
Manta's
knew him.
dad who dies at the beginning. Okay,
Aquaman's
that's
a good movie.
Okay.
Second one was fine.
No, it is.
From what I remember.
Yeah, not how you wanted to end.
Flash was the ending of the
DC
universe,
stuff.
wasn't it? Wasn't that the last movie? Oh,
No,
wow.
Aquaman came out after.
Yeah.
You never watched that
Dead
yet.
Boy Detectives.
I probably should before Netflix decides to take it off because of its connection with a certain somebody.
Yeah, and they've already canceled the second
it is
season of that
connected to Neil
one, too,
Gaiman,
so-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should watch that then and talk about it.
What a fuck. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm upset about that.
What did you guys think of the post-credit scene with Woodrow and the
Didn't see it.
cop?
You guys talk. I don't think so. I think I turned off the
Oh, you
movie and walked away.
You didn't see the
the
post-credit
show.
scene? Oh man, that scene. You gotta check that scene out, Mike. If you want to talk about like a horror, like it's probably the most horror thing in the entire series.
What was it?
So basically, Matt goes back to the police station and he goes there and like all the power is out and he notices all like these plants are growing all around and he finds the other cops are dead. And when he's looking around, he sees Woodrow, who's changed into the Philoric Man, and he's just like, you used to be Jason Woodrow and now I'm something more. And then he just charges Matt, and that's how it ends.
That fucking. I just found it. I'm watching it now. That fucking sucks.
And he looks.
So they spent all that money to make another suit for nothing.
It wasn't their fault. It was the studio's fault.
No, I know it wasn't their fault, but like WB okayed this and then went, nope, we're done. Fuck you.
Oh, and if you want to know how badly WB screwed this show, it was originally supposed to be 13 episodes, and then during the middle of production, they're like, yeah, you got 10 now.
Okay, you're right. This looks awesome. Man, I fucking really don't like WB sometimes.
You know, I really want to say it is heartening to see how upset you are by the fact that this show got screwed over so much.
Yeah, because I did enjoy this. Like, I mean, this wasn't... It took me a bit to watch because I couldn't stream this on my computer and watch it in between things. Like, I had to, like, pull out my PS5 and play it on there and take over the TV away from my wife, not be able to watch Grey's Anatomy. But, I mean, that's difficult. More difficult than you think. But, like, so it was a tough watch for me just because of timing and everything, but I did enjoy it, you know. And I also got sad when I looked online and there's nothing on YouTube about this show. Like, why are people not talking about, like, all the stuff about the show is from 2019 when it came out, and that's it. There's like nobody is talking about the show since then. And to me, that's like, how can you not, like, there's all sorts of shit on YouTube. Like, how is there not people looking back at this? I mean, there is now, but like, how did nobody really look at this again? I don't get it.
I can only hope that this serves to at least get one or two people to watch the show.
I mean,
Like,
this podcast has more reach than I realize sometimes, so you never know.
yeah, like if you're out there listening, no, we're not. I'm going to save that.
But I mean, I think again, for the third time, if had this been something that people could just stream, people would. You know, it's the fact that you have to literally buy it. You can't watch it with any of the services that you're paying for. Like, I'm sure, you know, I'm sure somebody would, like, you know, would pay to have it on their service for a little while because it, you know, but I'm sure WB like, no, we want this amount of money.
I was looking on Google before, and it was saying that Tubi has it on their streaming.
Oh yeah.
I looked it up while we were talking about it, and it seems it is
Yeah, I
not
think-
there.
anymore.
Bummer.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
really?
on. It just got pulled down
Yeah.
yesterday.
Like the movies are on there,
Yeah.
but not the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's just at least this came out physically for people,
Yeah.
because at least that's one thing that is happening. That WB and Disney are starting to slowly release stuff physical for their shows.
Only
Slowly.
Netflix could be bothered to do the same.
Especially one
Netflix does
released
some,
on
but
streaming.
barely.
Netflix doesn't want other studios have contributed money to it. Like the
Okay.
only reason we got Mike Flanagan's Paramount co-funded it and insisted on a physical release.
Because like Stranger Things season 1 is on DVD, but that's it.
Yeah, how many seasons are there of that show?
4 current.
4 currently?
4?
Yeah, where are the other ones? That's right,
Yeah.
because Netflix fucking sucks.
I actually own season 1.
Yeah. Come on, Netflix. Come on, Netflix. There's my Dark Crystal
Yeah, I would-
Blu-ray collection. Come
My
on.
wife would buy that.
Where's my House of Usher collection? Damn it. I mean, well, I know where mine is because I bought a bootleg, but, whatever.
Oh, if it makes you feel any better, Gotham Knights, that show never got released physically. Does that help any?
Good.
Yeah, that show can be forgotten.
But I'm glad they're starting to put more stuff out there. Like,
Oh,
but yeah, Netflix needs to get off their ass too. But because, I don't personally like physical media because people are like, well, what are you gonna do when it goes away? I'm like, I'm just gonna pirate it then, guys. Like, that's all. That's what I did before. What I'll do again. I'm not gonna stop. But I just
oh man, just reading WB. Apparently, Swamp Thing was supposed to appear on Legends of Tomorrow, but WB canceled
why?
that as well.
already spent the money.
Yeah, they just
I will never understand how some of these people run corporations.
yeah, they just
Never. People are fucking stupid. All right. Any last things to say? Rob, you mention about Swamp Thing we haven't talked about?
I just want to mention the one scene when Swamp Thing was growing the plants for Abby.
Oh.
How he can grow anything. Just imagine the cannabis that he could grow.
Yo.
That was a cool scene when he grows the fruit, and that was cool.
Yeah.
And how he hallucinates, so she sees him as a human. And when she does
Yeah,
kiss
that
him,
was
I'm
so weird.
like, doesn't he taste like Plant Man? Like,
Yeah.
oh, believe
the
me, in the
movie too.
comics they do way
Yeah.
more than kissing.
I did not need to know that, by the way, but thanks.
Well, now you do.
Oh well, I'm just preparing for you for when you
I'm
read
looking
it.
forward to it. I should read the second thing of Nightfall before I read Swamp Thing, but we'll see. I think yes.
Also, the scene where the guy was like washing dishes
Oh,
and
yeah.
started cutting off his hand because he thought a snake was.
That was fucked
Yeah,
That
sticks
was
in the
awesome
garbage
scene.
disposal. Ugh.
Oh,
That was
good,
hard.
though.
Yeah, and then you
Fingers are all
out and you
mangled.
see it. It's like,
Oh,
oh
my
my god! I mean, it's great practical work.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the autopsy scene when the one body, the swamp guy there, when
Yeah, and he just starts
the
growing.
plant started turning into like a person almost.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was like the thing almost.
It was so good.
Oh, just before we close up, I guess this is kind of open for interpretation. Does Swamp Thing know
Not
Matt
till
was the
later.
one that shot him? It's never really made clear if he knows or not, but it's kind of implied he knows. I was just curious what anyone else took on that.
I think he does realize later, like when he runs into Matt as Swamp Thing, he makes a comment when he's like, "I remember you."
So, I'm pretty sure he knows, but, he's the Green now. He's above that petty mortal shit, oh, you shot me. Man, people shoot me every day now.
Yeah,
I don't know. He came pretty
Oh,
close to
man.
killing Avery.
Yeah,
If only.
I bet they're setting up that for another season too. So
Yeah.
that's probably why. Because they didn't kill Avery.
I'm sorry.
Man, why'd you have to make me upset? Make me watch this show, damn it.
I'd live to upset you. That is my only purpose for this show.
Let's go to Shelf Stacker Box. And I'll go first. I'm going to put this on the shelf. I had a really good time. I came in this with zero expectations, and I left happy. Beside the fact that I'm upset that we don't get season 2, but the show was good. It's something I would definitely be recommending to people. I mean, I'm not saying that you should buy it. I'm saying you should watch it. Stream it somehow. Sure, you can find a way. So, yeah, definitely worth checking out. And Joseph.
Oh yeah, this is 100% a shelf. This is one of my favorite series in a long time. They did right by the source material while also making their own identity. Then it's very well done. The practical effects, and this is definitely a show that I would recommend to anybody check out. Give it a chance. It does start a little slow, but it does pick up really, really well in the second half here, and it's a great show. Just watch it any way you can.
Shelf is like the top, right?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely Shelf. Like, if you've seen the movies and stuff, like, this is definitely like a good representation of Swamp Thing. Like, the way the makeup and the effects and the background and everything, like, they did so good on this. It's a good visual.
And Kenneth.
In case it wasn't obvious, I'm putting it on the shelf too. This is not only is it an amazing comic book show, it is straight up one of the best horror television shows in recent years. Like, even beyond just comics, this is horror. Absolute horror. And they did a really great job with it. Now, I know everybody's like, oh, just watch it. I'm telling you, go out and buy it. Maybe if we buy enough copies, WB might be like, well, there might be some money in this after.
Do you actually believe that?
No, but it's worth a damn shot. Like, I already bought this digitally. I'm going to go out and buy it in physical. So, like, if that's $50 just from me.
I don't know if you start.
What if we all did that?
It's cheaper for physical, by the way. It is $18 on Prime for DVD, and Blu-ray is $22.
Oh, okay, so like I would not buy I would buy Blu-ray, so almost $50.
Like, you are a Blu-ray, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Now, imagine if like everybody who listens to this show did that. Like $50 times, I don't know, whatever. Like that could be like 5,000, 50,000, depending on how many people are listening. Like that's not an insignificant amount of money. That's a nice bump in the sales that they're like, wait, what? Why? So
I feel like if WB saw that, they would be like, "Oh, this is making money.
They're
Pull it.
taxing our
Get
income.
the physical."
Pull something else.
Oh, there's a 1990 Swamp Thing series too.
Yes, and that is hard as heck. Okay, you could find it. It's just not on any.
Okay, is it any good?
Streaming. Let's just leave it at that. It's definitely a product of its time, but I would say it is more horror based than the two movies. So it's probably closer to the 2019 series, but they are working with a much limited
I can believe
budget on it.
I didn't even know that I just was Googling things. Apparently you can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, I think it had 3 seasons. It had like quite a few episodes.
All right.
And in fact, actually, in that series,
You are right. It
somebody turns the guy
had
into a
22
tree.
episodes for
It's like the
season 1,
opening of this.
11 for season 2, and 39 for season 3.
Holy That's what happens when you have faith in your show.
Yeah.
How do you do that many 72 episodes for this show?
Carefully.
I didn't even knew that existed.
I think that was made by the guy who did. I think it was made by the guy who did the Outer
Interesting.
Limits.
Wow, I never even heard of this show, really. This USA show.
No.
Till today. All right. Damn. I'll never probably watch it, but all right. Oh, and this also got canceled before it was finished. Apparently it was planned to run for 100 episodes, but ended prematurely after 72. See how Swamp Thing just can't win. Oh, and last thing I want to mention before we wrap this up,
Yeah.
Ken, is there any reason I should watch those old 1980 old Swamp Thing movies?
If you want, like, they do some cool stuff in them. And I'd say at least the first one you should watch because Wes Craven.
Okay, so it's something that you'd want to do.
Yeah, I'd do that. I did just buy the remastered Return of Swamp Thing. That movie did not hold up as well as I remembered.
The opening was good, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's
the
Much
second
more of
one's a comedy.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
So-
straight up. But the first one's pretty
Yeah,
darn
that's what I
good.
thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Comedy does not sell it, but all right.
Yeah.
First one I might be willing to check out, especially for more Swamp Thing content to link to this.
Oh, we should do the animated series.
It's gotta be more than
5
that.
episodes. You can knock that out.
No. 5 episodes.
Really? And it got
No,
canceled that quickly?
After 5.
Why not? This one did.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I think I've seen an episode or two of this stupid cartoon. Huh. You can buy
had
a really
VHS
expensive
of it. I know
DVD
I
on
did at
Amazon,
some
or you can
point.
buy a less expensive copy on a website that Ken was promoting at one point. So it was like $5 versus like 100.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, like who the fuck is paying? No, sorry, not 100. $65 for the Swamp Thing animated series. I did not realize it was only 5 episodes. Who the fuck is paying for that?
Yeah.
Better come with a lot more than 5 episodes.
Yeah,
That's
I mean-
impressive.
that's wow. I hope people realize what they're buying when they buy it, because like, yeah, you're only getting 5 episodes.
How the Sci-Fi Channel syndicated it for years?
You play it at 2 in the morning, I guess.
episodes.
Amazing.
All right. We should go to plugs. And Joseph, did you have anything to plug?
I do not have a plug. You can just find me on the Discord. Like I'm always talking games, comics, food, whatever. But you can find me on the Discord. I'm also on
And Rob.
various forums throughout the internet.
Only thing probably just a plug is my Winter Ghostbusters group. We're on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook.
Nice. I should check you out. On that banned platform, TikTok, that you still can't download in the App Store, by the way. As of today.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I have it. I never uninstalled it, but it's still not there. When you go to look for it, it says this is banned in America. I did
You
not.
haven't installed the Chinese version?
Yeah, I want to trust that.
I know people that went to Red Note, and I'm like, oh, why are we like? There's Instagram with Reels. Like, why are people going to another Chinese? That whole thing is so stupid. All right, that's a whole other story. And I guess, yeah, if you enjoyed this episode of over 750 other episodes of this podcast, you can find everything we do on Podbean. We do movies, comics, TV shows, games, all tons of content. If you want to support, so we do a Patreon, a little dollar. You can vote in our Patreon polls. We have 1 to 2 a month. So you get to affect the show. If you want to be on the show, if you want to chat with us, join the Discord. It's free. And that's how you can end up being on the show. So you can suggest things. You can chat with us. You can lurk and make the number go up. I don't care. I'm happy with that too. So please join the Discord. And I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Halftree. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram. Definitely go check her out and check out A Gamer Looks at 40 with Bill Tucker. You will see a link to his show in the show notes too. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only, and rate and reviews where we get your podcast. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
So long.
See ya.